Hello, kumusta? I'm Teacher Melvin, and today we're gonna learn something useful and a simple topic that will help us develop our skills in different learning areas. And for today's video, we're gonna learn the divisibility rules. Divisibility comes from the word divisible, meaning a number can be divided by another number without any remainder. So are you ready now? Handa na ba kayo? Every day we come across different numbers. Some are big and some are small. And some of them are really giving us hard time to deal with them. Say for example, how do we know if a number can be divided by 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10 by merely looking at the number and without doing the actual division process? So these divisibility rules will help us to quickly determine if it can actually be done. So let's get started. How do we know if a number is divisible by 2? So this is the rule for number 2. A number is divisible by 2 if the last digit is even. So let's take the first three numbers, 5,040, 995,568, and 735. So based on the rules, we just have to look at the last digits. For the first number, the last digit is 0. For the second, 8, and the last 5. So accordingly, if the last digit is even, how do we know that a number is even? When the number ends with either 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8. Otherwise, we call the numbers odd, or the numbers that ends with 1, 3, 5, 7, or 9. So if the number is even, then we can say that the number is divisible by 2. Meaning 5,040 is divisible by 2. And 995,568 is also divisible by 2 since the last digit is 8. And the last one, 735, since it ends with 5 and 5 is an odd number, then we cannot say that this number is divisible by 2. And next is the divisibility rule for 3. How do we know if a number is divisible by 3? The rule says that a number is divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits of that number is divisible by 3. So meaning, we have to get the sum of all the digits. So how do we do that? So for this example, 5,040, we have to get the sum of the 4 digits. Now, if we add all these digit numbers, then we can get the sum of 9. And 9 is divisible by 3 since 9 is actually a multiple of 3. So meaning, if we can get a sum that is a multiple of 3 or can be divided by 3, then we can say that a number is divisible by 3. How about 995,568? So if we're going to add all the digits of this number, then we can get the sum of 42. And 42 is also a multiple of 3, or it can be divided by 3. So then we can say that this number is also divisible by 3. How about 735? So if we add all the digits of this number, then we can get a sum of 15, and 15 is divisible by 3, or 15 is a multiple of 3, then we can also say that this number is divisible by 3. What is the divisibility rule for 4? The rule says if the last two digits form a number divisible by 4, then we can say that the number is also divisible by 4. It means that no matter how large the number is, we just have to pay attention to the last two digits of that number. Say for this number, 5,040, we just have to look at the last two digits, that is 4 and 0. And according to the rule, if the last two digit forms a number that is multiple or can be divided by 4, then we can say that a number is divisible by 4. So since 40 is a multiple of 4, or it can be divided by 4, 10 without remainder. So meaning 5,040 is divisible by 4. How about 995,568? The last two digits are 68, and 68 is actually multiple of 4 or can be divided by 4. You get 17 without any remainder. Then we can say that this big number is also divisible by 4. How about 735? The last two digits are 35 or 3 and 5. And 35 is not a multiple of 4. So it means that this number is not divisible by 4. Next is the divisibility rule of 5. The divisibility rule of 5 says that a number is divisible by 5 if the last digit is either 5 or 0. So if the number ends with 0 or 5, then we can say that a number is divisible by 5. So in this example, 5040, since the last digit is 0, then we can say that this number is divisible by 5. The second number ends with 8, then we can say that this is not divisible by 5. 735 ends with 5, it means that this is also divisible by 5. What is the divisibility rule for number 6? The rule says that if a number is divisible by both 3 and 2, it is also divisible by 6. What does it mean? So meaning, we have to pass or we have to satisfy the two conditions. The number should be both divisible by 2 and 3. A number should be even, and the sum of the digits of the number must be divisible by 3. Say for this example, 5040. Since this number satisfies the divisibility rule for number 2, and it also satisfies the divisibility rule for number 3 because the sum is 9, then we can say that this number is also divisible by 6. How about this number? This number is even, so we can say that this is divisible by 2, and the sum of all the digits is 42. Then we can say that this is divisible by 3, so meaning this is also divisible by 6. But for number 5, we can see that 5 is not an even, so it doesn't pass the first condition, though it passed the second condition, that is divisible by 3, but according to the rule, the two conditions must be obtained. So we cannot say that 735 is divisible by 6. For the next rule, we have to do a little computation process to determine if a number is actually divisible by 7. So what are those processes? First, we have to take out the last digit, we have to double it, and we have to subtract it from the remaining digit. So how do we do that? So let's take 5040. The last digit is 0. We take it out and multiply it by 2. Then the product is subtracted from the remaining digit. So the remaining digits are 5, 0, and 4. We have to minus 0, then we get 504. Now, if we can still determine that this number is divisible by 7, we can actually repeat the process. We have to take out 4 and we have to double it, same as what we did earlier, and now we get the product 8. Then we have to subtract it from the remaining digits. Then we get, and now we have the remaining digits 4 and 2, or 42. And we know that 42 is divisible by 7, or because it is a multiple of 7. So then we can say that 5040 is divisible by 7. Okay, let's have the next number, 995,568. So same process, we have to take out the last digit, that is 8, and we have to double it, we get 16, and we have to subtract 16 from the remaining digits. Then we get this number. So we have to do the process again, multiply it by 2, get 0, then we subtract it from the remaining digit. You can still repeat the process. 98 minus 14, we get 84. So since 84 is divisible by 7, or it's a multiple of 7, then we can say that this digit is also divisible by 7. Or for this instance, if we have to do the process again, take out the last digit, 4, multiply it by 2, we get 8, and we subtract it from the remaining digit, that is 8, then we get 0 according to the rule, including 0, so we can say that the number is divisible by 7. How do we determine if a number is divisible by 8? So the rule is kind of similar to the rule of 4. However, we have to pay attention to the last 3 digits instead of only 2. So if the last 3 digits form a number that is divisible by 8, then we can say that the number is divisible by 8. So how do we do that? Say for example 5040. The last 3 digits are 0, 4, and 0, and they form a number that is divisible by 8 because 0, 4, 0 is actually equal to 40. It forms a number that is divisible by 8 because we can no longer include 0. So 40 is divisible by 8 since it's also multiple by 8. Then we can say that this number is divisible by 8. Okay, how about the second number? 995,568. Its last 3 digits are 568. And let's see if this number, the last 3 digits, is divisible by 8. We have to do a little division. We get 7, that is 56. Get 1, and that is 8. And we don't get any remainder. So since the last 3 digits form a number that is divisible by 8, then we can say that the second example is actually divisible by 8. How about 735? Though we already know that all the numbers that are divisible by 8 should be even, so we can right away say that 735 is not divisible by 8. But for the benefit of the others, let's do still the computation. We get 72, and that is 9. We get 15, and we can only get 1. And there is a remainder of 7. So if there are always remainder after we do the little computation, then we cannot say that the number is actually divisible by 8. The divisibility rule for 9 is somewhat similar to the divisibility rule of 3. We have to get the sum of all the digits of the number, and if the sum is divisible by 9, then we can say that the number is divisible by 9. So in this example, if we get the sum of all the digits of this number, 5040, we get 9. So since 9 is divisible by 9, then we can say that this number is divisible by 9. And the second number, 995,568, the sum of all the digits, if we're going to add all the digits, we get the sum 42, and 42 is not divisible by 9, and it's not a multiple of 9, then we can say that this is not divisible by 9. How about 735? The sum is 15, which is not divisible by 9. Then we can actually say that this number is not divisible by 9. And for the last number, the divisibility rule for number 10, this is the most familiar to us. We can actually tell that a number is divisible by 10 if it ends with 0, or if the last digit is 0. And among the 3 numbers, only 5040 is divisible by 10. And now for the rest of the numbers, I want you to do them by yourself. You can actually pause this video, and after you finish answering the numbers, then you can play it again to check your answer. If you're done, you can now check your answers on the table. So I hope that you had fun and enjoy our video. And if you like this video, don't forget to click like, and you may share this video to your friends. And that's all for today, and I hope to see you again next time. So take care everyone. Paalam!